What is going on, everyone? My name is Machine Gun Hunt and welcome to another video. And today I'm going to talk about a subject that's been going on recently with the community. So there is Sweatcicle. He is a content creator for Destiny. You know, he does raids, he does like Twitch stuff, all that stuff. And recently he made a video criticizing Destiny and really Bungie for that matter, that eventually it'll get to the point where Destiny content would not be friendly towards content creators. And this basically made it so that it brought forth a whole bunch of members from the community criticizing different types of things that are going on with the game. And honestly, these things have been popping up like since day one, since Destiny's been around. But there's some other things that are worth mentioning. And what I feel what's best is simply bring forth my perspective so that one, people can understand more about my perspective of playing Destiny, not just people who don't do this full time and, you know, they've already gotten their characters to max light level and then, you know, they have like they've done the raids, they've done all the exotics, you know, they got all the stuff like that. Not only have a different perspective of somebody who may have gotten like high light level on one character and even like, you know, haven't done the raid yet or, you know, haven't grinded everything out for all three characters. It's always good to have a little bit of perspective with this game with other people as well. So I am here to do that. And two, obviously have more criticism towards Bungie so they could listen, they could just make a better game that we all know and love, and just have it so that we are here to make the game better, because I'm always here to make the game better. I always want to give criticism, not simply because I hate Destiny or whatever, but because I love this game. I want to make this game better. Okay? Now, before we get started, a couple of things I want to make things cleared up. Okay? I have finished the campaign. I have unlocked all the stasis, you know, abilities for my warlock. I am at 1260 light level for my character. Okay, I'm pretty much maxed out for power level, and I have done some very little on my hunter as well. Okay, so, you know, obviously I don't play Destiny like, you know, full time or whatever. You know, obviously I do have a life outside of that. You know, I do YouTube as like a part-time thing. You know, I don't upload every single day. I don't play Destiny every single day. You know, I play other games too. You know, like Fire Emblem. I'm playing Ace Combat. You know, obviously Final Fantasy VII Remake. You know, Destiny is not the only game I'm playing. I am not like full hardcore mode right now. I used to be, but right now I'm just chilling. You know, I'm taking my time with this because, you know, there's a good reason for that. We'll get to that later. And, you know, this isn't my livelihood. You know, I'm just doing this because I like doing YouTube, because I like Destiny. You know, I just want to give people my perspective towards other people so that you guys can understand just, you know, from an average player loving Destiny comes from. Okay? So, just give me a disclaimer there, you know. If you want to talk about something like that, then go on ahead, okay? So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so I have written down a couple of things here. Just sit back and relax. I know this is going to be a long video. And number one, this is a big criticism for me, especially. Let's talk about Varix. Now, Varix, I do like, simply because how he's set up. You know, he's an old character. He has some good, like, you know, interaction with you and the main antagonist of the campaign. Campaign's good. I like the campaign. You know, really good job for Bungie there. Now, I like the vendor, how he does. So how it works is you have, like, you know, certain quests, certain activities that you do in order to increase the quests or increase the rewards. You know, basically make it so that you're able to get more rewards, more activity, more like modifiers, more difficulty towards like the story modes that you've played from the campaign before. I personally love this a lot because, one, it makes you explore Europa, which is absolutely awesome, several times over so you could recognize some things. And two, most importantly, it makes it so that once you get to the end, it's worth it just patrolling around and getting some good loot and rewards and stuff like that. And that's actually really good, especially with like the lost sectors. You get some more exotics. You have a random chance of getting an exotic. You can spend your time getting exotics, getting enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, light level, all that stuff. I feel Bungie had done a great job making it so just by one place you could farm for certain things. And I think that is absolutely amazing. So, here's my problem with this. The only problem I have with this is why can't we have this with all the areas? I mean, think about it. What if we had this with the Cosmodrome, for example? The Cosmodrome is freaking back. Why can't we have this? Of course, there's lost sectors and all that, but why can't we have vendors make it so we could get more story missions? And once we do those story missions, we have a chance of getting armor, specifically from the Cosmodrome. Weapons that have random rolls. You can farm for those rolls. Go ahead and have it so that you have all these activities so you could focus on one area. What if you want to explore the Cosmodrome 24/7, and that's no problem. You can get your loot from there. Or let's say you do European Dead Zone, freaking Nessus. You have your own specialty area. So, give us more variety so we can go ahead and get more loot, get more items, get all sorts of cool story, everything that you could think of. I love Europa because it's set up in a way where the more you explore, the more you're rewarded. Give us that incentive for other areas in the map, especially like the moon. We're familiar with that, especially with Cosmodromes. That's why we're familiar with this so much. Give us more incentive to explore so we can have more story, more rewards, more loot, more weapons, more armor, more exotics, all that stuff. And we can even go for some difficult, like rewards and situations and stuff like that. Give us more content on everyday activities, because if we do this at everyday places, then guess what? That makes it so newer people can explore the places more, and they can get rewarded for getting more loot. And newer people can still stay at these places, even though it's just regular content. I really love how it's set up with Europa. Just have it so it's with other places, Obviously, Europa is the focus, but make it so that once we're done with Europa, we could go to another place, explore, go ahead and get more loot, all that stuff. So that is like my number one thing right now. I just love how it's set up. I want more of it. Give me more of that crap. Give it to me. Alright, so I'm probably going to timestamp all of this, so, link in the description. Or, description box, it'll explain everything, okay? Alright, so number 2, strike exclusives. And I'm talking about weapons and armor back in Destiny 1, even beginning Destiny 2. Where the freak are they? Where's my DFA? Where's my other activity weapons? Where's my sniper? Where's my machine gun that I can get from one specific Nightfall? Nightfall is awesome. Why can't I get, I don't know, a freaking helmet that I can get from defeating the new, Sabathun, or I'm sorry, the brand new Cosmodrome strike, okay? Why can't I get a helmet from that freaking wizard? I want more exclusives because it gives me a reason to replay those strikes over and over and over again. This makes it so that I want to do the strike so I can get the specific weapon, the specific role for that weapon. Give me back the, what was that pulse rifle? It was the Omnigal pulse rifle. The Grasp of Malak. Give me the Grasp of Malak back. Give me back the DFA. Give me back all these strikes exclusives so that there's more rewards, more loot. Basically, more loot. Give me more loot so I can grind for, that I can go ahead and get more random rolls for, and give me more reason why to do these strikes. Because I like doing these strikes right now, but eventually I'm going to get sick of it, so I might want to get an exclusive, reward from it. So, where are the strike exclusives? I want to know where they are. I love DFA. That's like one of my most favorite weapons in this game. Give me a strike exclusive so I can go ahead and grind for it, and I could just play with it. Number 3. There's only 2 new strikes with this expansion, and no new Crucible maps. Why? This is probably the biggest thing. There's only 2 exclusive strikes in this expansion, and one of them is basically a reskin for Omnigul. And another one is there's no Crucible maps. Dude, I would love a a Crucible map. That would look amazing. I would love to have that. That would be so freaking cool. A snow-based, like, Crucible map. Bro, I would love that. Oh, how about another one? Gambit. Gambit doesn't have new maps either. Give us more maps. Give us more places to explore doing, the content we play the most. Crucible, Strikes, Gambit. We only have 2 new things for only 1 activity. Listen, I understand that Activision is like out of the count, and I understand that Activision has given you a lot of resources to do some of these things. Okay? I do understand that you don't have as much resources in order to do these things with, what was it, Visceral Games to help you out? Okay? But you know that you gave us a service, and you know you want to do the best you can. Go ahead and just grind it out. Give these little things to us so it won't be an issue later on. I know that sounds kind of selfish slash, oh, me, mine, now. But this is something that's very important. If you could do the little things well, then guess what? You have no problem for doing the big things too. It's just a way of life. Okay? Basically, more crap. Give us more crap. That's really the biggest thing about this video. I want more because the thing that you have is good. Give me more of the crap that you make so that I could be more happy. I could continue to support your game. Make it easier for me to like your game. Okay? That's how it is with every single game, I do the Final Fantasy VII Remake. I have some criticisms about that. I do this with like freaking God of War. I do this with like other games, Monster Hunter, Fire Emblem. Golly, Fire Emblem. Oh, I could tell you so much about that game. Make it so that you're giving us more things that we are used to. Give us some more strikes. Give us some more Crucible, especially Crucible, man. Like, Crucible people have just been down, like, body blows, like, all the friggin' time for the past few months. I feel so bad for them. Just help them out, man. Like, they need it a lot, especially these days. Alright, then. Golly. Number 4, new weapons. Some of the new weapons are great, okay? There's lots of reskins. Again, this is kind of the same thing with, like, strikes and, like, Crucible maps and Gambit maps and all that, okay? A lot of these things are reskins, okay? Reskins are not a problem. It's just every single time there's like a new expansion, there's a new reskin, and no, people do not like that because they think it's lazy, okay? Now, I understand that each expansion there's like new perks, new like archetypes, new different types of stats, all that stuff, right? But reskins could definitely cause some issues because guess what? You probably see some Long Shadow, and this has been around since Forsaken. That's 2 expansions ago, and it's still viable, okay? Like, I want a different sniper rifle that looks cooler, looks more different, all that stuff, okay? Basically make it so that new weapons are a thing, and there's also a criticism with some of the weapons. Like, for example, the entire, like, loot pool for Europa weapons, like the Varix weapons, they basically suck. There's maybe one weapon that's worth using, and that's the Pulse Rifle because it rolls a good stats for Crucible, but none of the weapons have good damage increasing stats, okay? And basically, if you want a God roll, you're gonna have a weapon that has good damage dealing stats, good range and stability, and good a reload, okay? Now, you can have a weapon that has good reload and good, damaging and stuff like that, but basically, the Europa-based weapons don't have any damage-dealing stats, okay? They suck, okay? Honestly, I cannot recommend using these weapons with the exception of the Pulse Rifle with Surplus, Quick Draw, or Counterbalance and stuff like that, okay? That's actually a good weapon in Crucible. I might make a video about that, but that's the only weapon that I use for this Europa pool, okay? Everything else sucks. The machine gun, bleh, bleh, I love machine guns, but I hate that machine gun. It's absolutely terrible, okay? make better weapons, make new weapons, all that stuff. Okay, this is probably the most hated thing about this expansion I have. Ugh. Anyway, all right. So number 5, again, reskinning of armor and weapons, and this is actually very important, especially with the armor and weapons. Now, as of this video coming out, Iron Banner is coming out. Okay, and you know what's sad? I'm going to predict that the Iron Banner armor is gonna look the same since like day one of Iron Banner coming out. Okay, I mean that's just the truth. Okay, Iron Banner has been out for a long time. The armor hasn't changed that much. The weapons are literally the same since day one. Give us different armor. Give us different weapons. Okay, like in Destiny 1, we had like Fellwinter's Lie. We had like this auto rifle. We had all the pulse rifle and all that, right? Once Rise of Iron and like once Taken King came out with Iron Banner, they had their own different types of weapons, and each weapon looked very cool. It had its own design. It had its own different take on different abilities. I mean, like Rise of Iron, Iron Banner weapons look so cool because it looked more of a barbarian look than rather than like a knightly Iron Banner look. It looked really cool because it looked super different. It was different types of armor and weapons. I don't see that with Destiny 2, and it makes me feel sad because there's different varieties of so much armor, and Destiny 2 does a good job at making you look different from each Guardian because you have different shaders, different armor, different ornaments and stuff like that. Give us more incentive of finding different armor pieces, especially with Iron Banner. Heck, what happened to freaking faction wars, And actually, we will come back to that eventually. But, dude, reskinning armor and weapons are just not cool. Okay, I talked about this before. Just make it so that it looks new. Okay, I do appreciate art and different types of ways to make art, make different things look cool and all that. But give us the same type of desire and passion of making different types of armor and weapons that look different, rather than like the same passion you have look like for ships, ghosts, and sparrows and stuff like that. Make it so with the loot pool, okay? There's still weapons in Forsaken and a lot of the seasons, the seventh column weapons, they are good weapons. It's just give us different weapons that make it so that you don't really need to worry about those weapons, Give us 5 or 6 different types of machine guns, scout rifles, all the archetypes, so that we can explore and do different types of things with them, okay? But I don't want to deal with reskins, okay? I don't want to deal with, different types of armor that look the same since day one Destiny 2, And I do see that, and I'm telling you, once Iron Banner comes out, and even Trials comes out eventually, it will look the same, okay? Just give us something that looks different, okay? Number 6, and we have talked about this recently as well on this channel, but sunsetting, okay? Now, I have seen some good things from sunsetting. It definitely forced us to look at different weapons, but at the same time, it made us use the same weapons that we had back in previous expansions and seasons and all that, whatever. It also is making us hunt for weapons that were really, really good from past seasons, but they're a lot more difficult to grab, okay? And I feel that's very uncomfortable and honestly not the best. Me right now, I am hunting for a good machine gun. I already had a great machine gun, So now I'm in a dilemma where the only machine guns that are good for me is Thunderlord and Xenophage, both exotics, but I don't have a good legendary machine gun. What? You're expecting me to use the Varix machine gun? That thing sucks, right? Sure, I'll find a 7th, a Seraph machine gun eventually. That's a god roll, and it's a good roll. But the thing is, I threw away that crap because I didn't need it because I had an awesome machine gun. Now I wish I kept it because, golly, man. And sunsetting does lead into some problems. Look, for example, a lot of the content that we had back then, extra exclusive content, Menagerie. Oh my gosh, I love Menagerie. I did that every single day. Menagerie was so cool that I did it every single day. Even though I've done all the extra content, I did it for fun. And that's like going back to, making it more incentive going to back to other places. Menagerie is so awesome, and the loot pool was so good that I hunted for different types of weapons, like different shotguns, different hand cannons, different machine guns, all that stuff. It was, and a lot of the weapons were exclusive. They had their different types of art. They were their own weapons. They were so freaking cool, man. I loved Menagerie. That was like the most coolest thing about that place, man. I loved it so much. And now we have a place where like we're using all reskin weapons, and all the Menagerie weapons right now are all sunsetted. What the frick? There were so many cool weapons from Menagerie. There were so many cool weapons that I had. Dude, I had a weapon from Forsaken, Long Shadow, absolute god roll. I kept that thing. But unfortunately, it was sunsetted, alright? It's gone. Like, I had to get a Long Shadow. I had like a god roll Long Shadow, right? And I can't use it now because it's sunsetted for like new content expansion and all that. And I had to have a new Long Shadow that just sucks, okay? And it has field prep, that's good, but it doesn't have other rolls, okay? Mine had like triple tap, rapid hit, and like freaking extended like mag. That was like an absolute god roll. I love that thing so much. And guess what? It's a Long Shadow, but it's a Long Shadow from Forsaken. Why do we have different Long Shadows from different expansions, okay? Like, if it's a Long Shadow that you have like back in like, Season of Arrivals, and Long Shadow from Forsaken, keep the Long Shadow. Like, what the what the frick, man? That's all I'm saying. Like, I am dealing with like freaking sunsetting because I have a different Long Shadow that I got a little bit longer than like other weapons, right? People literally have the exact same Long Shadow that I have, but I can't use it because mine came from a different expansion. I think that is made me so pissed off, man. Don't even get me started with my precious machine gun, okay? The one that gives you 250 bullets in the magazine, okay? Sunsetting just sucks in some ways, but sunsetting, I do understand why they sunsetted, but man, do sunsetting better so that I can have my own weapons that are the exact same from different expansions, okay? Just make it so that you have certain weapons that you don't have to worry about. Ugh. Come on, man. Long Shadow, perfect example. I still have that thing, by the way. I hope it comes back so that I can use that Long Shadow instead of like the garbage one I have, okay? And the bad thing is that's like the only good like primary sniper, like the only good kinetic sniper anyway. So I'm stuck with that thing, Like, golly, I can hunt for it, but guess what? It's harder because there's no good way to get Long Shadow besides like coins and stuff like that. But I'll get it eventually. And bring my Menagerie too. I want content that's like Menagerie to come back because that was like one of my most favorite things about this game. Okay, like I wish that sunsetting didn't happen this expansion, but maybe like one of the other seasons. I wish that happened so that we didn't have to worry about like all these weapons coming down. Okay, because I understand that they wanted to go through with this, but it just made it so that it caused more problems than fixing problems, Like, that's just unacceptable to me, okay? I'm probably making my own 5-minute video about Long Shadow itself, okay? So, yeah, there is that. Alright, so, number 7. This one's really simple. Trials. Where's Trials? I know there's a whole bunch of glitches in this game, and me personally, a lot of the glitches are kind of fun and cool, and bugs are like really fun and cool, but come on, guys. I don't think Trials of Osiris has been out yet, and it's already been a month. Guys, come on. Like, we could have had, like, adapted weapons at this point. Fix the freaking trials, okay? The freaking Crucible people are dying out there, okay? Like, they're dying. Fix trials. Gosh. I feel so bad for the Crucible people, man. Like, one of my friends, like, he loves trials. He would probably have one of the adapt weapons by now. Like, oh my gosh, he'd probably be full of adapt weapons and all like the gear and all that, man. I feel so bad for him. No freaking trials. All he's stuck with is like freaking Crucible and like hardcore, you know, freaking, you know, competitive and stuff like that, which isn't that hard. Like, honestly, I'm getting to the point where competitive is like more reliable at getting loot. And it's becoming a little bit easier for me. I'm actually getting okay at Crucible, which is good. But come on, man. Trials. I feel so bad for the Crucible people, man. Alright, next. Subclasses and versatility. Now, with this expansion, we have different types of fragments and different types of abilities that we have with our stasis subclasses, okay? And it gives us more variety than the previous subclasses that we have in order to change our playstyle and strategy. And you know, we have like different types of skill trees that's used to play it whatever way we want. And basically stasis makes it so we have like 5 or 6 ways of playing rather than like, you know, 2 or 3. But the biggest problem I have is, okay, stasis is really cool and honestly it's like one of the most OP subclasses out there, you know? Basically, stasis makes it so that I want to play stasis all the time now instead of playing the other subclasses, right? Why can't we get like the same skill tree and fragments and like, you know, augments and aspects of stasis the same way for the other subclasses, you know? Like basically make it so that we have like a fragment, like 2 fragments for like, you know, the Dawn Blade, right? So you can have different abilities like that. Have it so that if you're using a defender bubble, you could choose like 1 fragment for Blessings of Light and 1 fragment for Weapons of Light. You know, something like that. You know, make it something really simple. Make it so that only stasis is the one that's having special treatment. And I do get the theme, you know, we're using darkness to fight evil and stuff like that, but I would love to use the Yeet Titan to have special different types of abilities, you know, just doing unlimited amount of like, you know, melee energy. And guess what? A lot of these builds, a lot of these augments and fragments and aspects, they basically get unlimited like class ability skills, grenade, infinite grenades, infinite melee, that sort of thing, okay? Basically makes it so it's more overpowered, it's more deadly, you know. Basically make it so that all the subclasses could be as overpowered and as fun as everything, okay? Because guess what? If everything is overpowered, everything is balanced, and everything is more fun. Because guess what? If you were to make something more powerful, and it's obviously more powerful, but everything else is not as powerful, guess what? That one powerful thing is going to be meta. It's not going to be fun. Everyone's going to get bored with it. Yada, yada, yada. We've been through this before over and over and over with the Destiny altogether, okay? You know, we had metas. We had, like, you know, oh, like, hand cannons are OP back at D1 for the longest of time. Like, oh, we had pulse rifles that are the best. Oh, we had, like, you know, some scout rifles are good. You know, all that stuff. But like, golly, man. You know, subclasses and versatility basically give equal treatment towards all the subclasses, which make it so that we have fragments and augments and all that stuff. Hey, have it so that's with it with like each like area. Have Europa for stasis. Have like, you know, Dawn Blade for like, I don't know, European Dead Zone. Have Void Walker for you know, maybe Nessus, and then you could use different types of activities. Have fun with it, you know, give us more content. So yeah, subclasses and versatility. I want augments and aspects for the other subclasses, okay? That will give us more abilities, more things for us to desire and all that. Alright, number 9. And this is really hope for future content. We have talked about Iron Banner. how I know that Iron Band is gonna be the same. Like there's obviously gonna be some powerful loot and stuff like that. So make it so it's easy for us to level up. In fact, I'm gonna do that right now with my Hunter. Once it's leveled up, I'm gonna do it with my Titan. You know, make them more powerful. And yeah, I want more incentive for hope for future content. Okay, I want Iron Banner to be good. Okay, I don't want reskins. I want factions to be coming back. Okay. And this is really simple. People complain about what about like all the like the faction tokens, how you can overflow you know, your freaking like your freaking like inventory and stuff like that. Okay, it's pretty simple. Okay, and I think Bungie did this very well with like raid tokens and stuff like that, or like those tokens you use to get like raid gear in the very end of like the Deep Stone Crypt. Okay, you can also use it with expansion, with exotics, as well as different types of gear for like for Last Wish, for example. Okay, you could do it with that too. Basically, make it so you just have a faction token. Don't have New Monarchy tokens, Future War Cult tokens, or Dead Orbit tokens. Just have a faction token. You are aligned with a certain faction, depending on what character you use, and you give faction tokens towards that specific faction. If you go to another faction, guess what? They can't accept them because you're not a member with them. Simple as that. Okay? Give us, and then guess what? You could give us more reskins and more different types of weapons that you can give us, and more rolls and more machine guns and more scout rifles and more hand cannons. Give us more loot. Basically, this video is all about give us more loot, okay? Like, give us more crap, okay? Like, this video is gonna be I want, me, mine, now. That's gonna be a thumbnail, guys. I guarantee it, okay? Yeah. I want more hope for Iron Banner because I know it's gonna be reskins. I don't want to make it reskins. Don't make it a reskin, okay? I want factions to come back, okay? And there's lots of controversy about it, okay? But you can make it work. I did like how they did factions back then. Make it a little bit better, okay? Make it so there's more story and like competitiveness towards like each opponent and stuff like that. All those type of things, okay? Holiday events, it's close to Christmas. Make it so that it's not gonna be a reskin from last year. Don't give us like Haunted Forest and like the same like auto rifle that's not really good for the meta right now, and have it so that it's like coming back and it has some good like perks and all that. It's like, well, the perks are good. It's just it's randomized, and there's a chance of you getting a key that's really hard to grab, and not only that, it's randomized to getting either one or the other weapons, and two, it doesn't matter anyway because it's not a good like weapon, How about instead of giving us an auto rifle, it's not really the best archetype. Give us a scout rifle, give us a hand cannon, give us a pulse rifle, give us a sniper rifle, give us a machine gun, all that stuff, man. Golly, And please give me a machine gun, okay? I beg of you. Like Seraph machine gun's great. I just haven't had a good roll yet. I'll still hunt for it, but once I get it, like it's not gonna be as useful for me. Golly, man. Oh, and dungeons. Like, I love Shattered Throne. I love Pit. Give us more dungeons. Dungeons are like the best content you can grab. I forgot I got that boot. I need to look at it. But wow, just give us more. Give us less reskins, man. This is probably the biggest thing about this video. Give us less reskins, okay? Really, really important, okay? And finally, number 10, okay? And this is really going to affect the hardcore players. In fact, I'm starting to see it right now. Fatigue, okay? There's this thing called Destiny fatigue, okay? It happens with every single video game. I don't care how much you play it. It happens to people, okay? Heck, it even happens to me with Final Fantasy VII, okay? I've beaten that game several times over. Like, probably you had to use all of my fingers and my toes and maybe another person's pair of hands to count how many times I've beaten that game, okay? Sometimes I get sick of it too, but then guess what? I come back to it, and guess what? It's still a great game, okay? That's how it is with Destiny. It's a great game. Sometimes if we get sick of it, we play other games. It happens all the time, okay? Now, what makes a great game is it has to be a game where we can come back to it no matter what, and we can still have a good time, okay? If you're making it so that players are thinking of leaving right now because they've done all the stuff and they wait for more content to come out right now, then guess what? That's going to be a serious take, okay? Me personally, I think sunsetting has caused this. I think that reskins have caused this because they felt like they already gotten this. I feel they already went through all this stuff, and expansions and all this stuff basically makes so that there's new stuff, but eventually that new stuff is going to happen again, okay? Like, it's just like over and over and over again, you know? It's like, you know, when you have your family, right? And it's like, you know, freaking a random day where it's like, oh, you get this signature thing, you know, like frozen ravioli or frozen ravioli or frozen ravioli. Eventually, you're gonna get sick of that frozen ravioli, okay? That's how it is with like Iron Banner, okay? Iron Banner is a frozen ravioli. It's actually pretty good because your grandmother actually grandmother or mom puts in some extra work putting like meatballs on it because it's a little bit different, sure. But guess what? You've had that over and over again. You know exactly how it tastes like, you know. What if they put like white sauce instead of red sauce? Hey, that's actually good stuff right there. Don't make it so that we feel like we've been through this over and over and over again. Make it so that, you know, for us hardcore players, and really just some average players, or like someone who's like me, in between the average and hardcore players, right? Make it so that we have content for everybody, so that it gets to the point where we are like, okay, even though we've beaten this several times over, there's still this one thing, or like 4 or 5 of these things that are still good to play with. Okay? Getting random rolls of certain weapons, getting certain mods that is really hard to grab, so it makes it easier for certain content, you know? Have it so that once we get all the gear, and we have like god roll weapons, god roll armor, we have like the best exotics, we have like everything maxed out, we have the best mods. Give us an activity where it's necessary to get all of those, like, you know, all the loot that we have to grind in order to get to that point. That you could say, congratulations, player, you are like the one of 200 or 400 people who've done this. Here's an emblem to show you how much you've played this game. Thank you so much, okay? Exclusivity, okay? Make it so that we have hardcore players rewarded, okay? And guess what? It's okay that average players don't grab this, okay? It happens sometimes. Just make it so that it's worth it for the other players, you know? Eventually, the average players will get higher up so they can get to that point, and they could do some raids, they could do some cool nightfalls, they can get some good loot, they can max out their armor and weapons and stuff like that, right? But make it so that you reward the hardcore players, and hey, you could do this even more. Have it so that you love this game so much that the hardcore players are still willing to play this game, even though they've gotten that exclusive thing. They can help other people get to that point as well. And this is why I love Sherpa so much, because they've played this game so much that they know that like the back of their hand, but they want to do the same thing for other players, so they make it so they help them do raids for other people. They have it so they do other content for other people. Make it so that I am able to rise up so much that I am like the most maxed out BA character ever. Like me being Saitama, right? I'm maxed out everything. I'm one of the most powerful players in this game. Make it so I could pick up like freaking Moomin Rider, and he could become One Punch Man like me, and I am helping him out along the way. So yeah, that's really the biggest thing I have right there. Reward professional players helping other players, okay? Because guess what? It makes them feel good inside. We love helping people. If we are maxed out and we have a position where we can help other players doing it, then guess what? that other player can go ahead and do it for another player too. Okay, give us more incentive. Okay, have it so that we can appreciate this game a lot more. Because guess what? If you reward the professional hardcore players, then guess what? We are rewarded. The average players are rewarded too. Okay, and that's why we need hardcore content creators to keep moving forward like this. Okay. Guess what? The hardcore players, they're going to learn how to get certain exotics. Guess what? The average players rewarded because guess what? They have a walkthrough. We know how to do a raid because of Dado, because of all these Sherpas, or because of all these professional raid players, right? I could do the raid right now, search up a video how to do it like 20 minutes, and then I could go to an LFG, do it right now, guaranteed. I just haven't done it yet because I haven't had the time. Okay, or let's say I want a certain exotic. Okay, just go ahead and go to one video how to do a lock sector, because lock sector is actually pretty easy if you know how to get, if you get this and this and this. Okay, reward the hardcore player so that the average player could be like the hardcore player. Okay, and guess what? The hardcore player will enjoy it because they have more content, they have more things to do, they have more things to do in this game. Okay, give us back menagerie. Adjust sun setting, okay? Bring back my Liabro Long Shadow. Make it so that it's not punishing for us to do certain activities back then, so we're not punished right now, okay? Make the game better, make it better, so that we can support you, Bungie, so we're able to go ahead and do what we do best. Play your game, and you do what you do best. Make us an awesome game. That's all I'm gonna say right there. Thank you guys so much Thank you guys so much for watching. What do you think about all of this? Do you play Destiny much? Are you a character like a player like me who plays a good amount, or are you just a hardcore player? How do you feel? What are your comments? And really, I want you guys to know. If you guys have opinions, if you guys have feelings, if you guys have concern about these games, let us know. Make a video. Go to Reddit. Talk to Bungie about it. Okay. Great thing about Bungie is, guess what? They are listening a lot of the times. Okay, dude. If they didn't listen, Destiny wouldn't be at this place right now. Destiny would not have been where Destiny 2 and beyond is right now. Okay. Keep talking. Keep criticizing, in good nature, and make it so that they are able to listen. And we are able to digest and take in what they make us, okay? It's a rinse-repeat option. Everything's not perfect, but let's make things more perfect. That's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you go ahead to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Thank you, guys. God bless. I appreciate all of you. Goodbye. See you next time.